You got a busy schedule and you got to get a workout in, but you're pressed for time? Well, check it out. Follow this back and bicep workout in less than an hour. We got back day today, guys. Again, I'm in my beginning stages of my hypertrophy mesocycle. So the goal for this cycle is to put on some muscle. Yes, I'm still not doing steroids. I've been off completely for 2 years and going now. I don't plan on going back on, but again, when you lose muscle, you can still build muscle back. For those guys that are thinking or wondering, can you still build muscle at whatever age? I always get that all the time. Can I still build muscle at the age of 40 or older? It's like, yes, you can. And for me, I lost about like 5-6 pounds of muscle probably since the Masters Olympia. So I said I was retired. I get it.
You're not very good at retiring.
I'm working on it.
The Olympia anniversary is this year, so when the Masters is in Vegas. So I was like, dang, if the top 5 get to return without qualification, amazing, I'm gonna do it. If I have to requalify, and I won't, and not because I just want a shortcut, because I don't know if I can do 2 shows. I don't have it, not that I don't have it in me to do it and to grind, it's just that I don't want to. The goal still is to build muscle. That is my goal. And that is what we're gonna do. So guys, here is my workout for you guys. Basically, what we're doing is only 3 exercises. I like to emphasize, obviously doing like a high pull or high row, a mid row, and then a horizontal row, and then a bent over row. Something that's gonna basically challenge my erectors while being in a hinged position. So that's what we're doing today, guys. And we're gonna warm up with doing some core first. So guys, this workout should not take you more than an hour. This will be an hour max. Right? So we're doing 3 exercises for back, 1 exercise for arms, for biceps, and we're gonna start off with some cable crunches to start. That's what we're doing. We're gonna do cable crunches and leg raises, so 2 sets of each. So I'm gonna do hanging leg raises and then cable crunches, and that's it, 20 reps each, and I'll start my workout. That's gonna kind of get my body really like warmed up in terms of my heart rate, my core engagement, and then while you're actually training, I find that again, most people aren't training their core and they're like, when do I fit it? I think the easiest way to put it is at the beginning of your workout. And that's something I'm doing new too. So you guys just follow along and we'll get after it. Let's go. I'm gonna get a good enough amount of weight on here. Again, when I'm doing these guys, I'm basically gonna wrap these around. I don't wanna work on my grip strength all of this, so I will use the straps here. And then when I pull this guy down, it's at the side of my head like this. And then we're down. And completely flexing. Reps. So what I find with these, which is dope. Again, when your hands are into your side like this, you're actually engaging your core. You're doing a lot. You engage your core, obviously, then you're engaging your lats as well too to help stabilize, keep yourself nice and locked in while we do the cable crunches. So, love doing this exercise. Again, where it's a good way to warm yourself up, get your core engaged right away. So when you're actually training and you're like, you want to feel your core, you can feel a lot more when you actually like, put it through some work. Cable crunches first, and then we're basically, not superset, but we're gonna go back and forth, flip flop, hanging leg raises, back this, so back and forth. I'm gonna rest like a minimal amount, like, at least like a minute. When we're doing our actual sets, we're gonna rest 2 minutes max. That's gonna give us enough time to recover. Also enough time for our actual sets, because our sets aren't gonna be any more than a minute, right? If your set's like a minute, it's a pretty long set, good set. So for us, it's just an easy way to make sure that we're doing as much as we can in terms of like, training wise, getting the most out of our set, have that nice long, say minute set, and then resting 2 minutes, and then we're doing 3 exercises, 3 sets each. That's 9 exercises, 3 minutes for each set. That's 27 minutes. Then add in your biceps and this, and you're looking at like max an hour in the gym. So a couple things, guys, when we're doing hanging knee raises or leg raises, you can see that I'm getting full flexion in my L spine, basically like my lumbar spine. I want my hips, I want everything to curl up to get this to work. If we're not doing that, we're just basically just gassing out your hip flexors, right? A lot of times when we're doing hanging leg raises or knee raises, we only get to here and we're just basically pulling this up here and you're like, and you probably do feel your core work because they're very much incorporated together. But to get the most out of it, we want this to flex, right? We need this entire thing to flex. Our core, think about your abs, they flex the spine, right? They do this. So to keep your back completely flat and then just pulling your legs up, it's kind of redundant, right? All right. So you guys can hear when I'm breathing, I'm doing it on purpose. Otherwise, like, I'm doing it on purpose because that's how I breathe when I'm doing core. But just to give you guys an idea, emphasize the exhale. When you're exhaling and flexing at the same time, it helps you connect with the movement you're doing, right? Same with when you're pushing, right? Same rules apply. Just because your abs doesn't mean we change things up, right? When we're contracting and pushing, we're doing the same thing. We're breathing through the contraction to feel it that much more and engage it that much more, right? It's not just about feel, it's all about engagement as well too. When I say hanging knee raises, I'm gonna start off with pulls. I like it as a warm-up set. I like doing my pull-ups as my opener for back, right? I slowly warm up to it. I do a lot of stretching in the beginning, and then I, really work hypertrophy in terms of like the long stretch and then contractions and whatnot. So that's how I like to start. You guys can utilize this as like a warm-up for a bit, assisted, right? To let you get your body fully stretched, work your way up, and then you can actually start your working sets with pull-ups. So that's gonna be me, working set of pull-ups. I like doing a semi-supinated grip. It's easier on my wrists. My mobility, my forearms, and my external rotation is good. I just find it that much easier for me to connect with even more, right? There's obviously muscles for me that I like connecting with more in terms of the exercise and hand placement. So for me, I love the feel of what I get when I'm semi-supinated and when I'm doing pull-ups other than being fully supinated. Is there a right and wrong? There's not. Do what is easiest for you or do it when you connects with you the most. Basically, I'm taking my sets 5 minimum reps and there's no maximum amount of reps, meaning I'm taking my set to like at least 1 RIR, 9 RPE, basically 1 rep from failure. I'm not gonna huck myself up, right? I know there's some other guys out there who will do that, and that's fine. If you wanna use some momentum to get yourself up so you can get that negative again, that's fine, do that. For me, that's when I train, at the front of the priority of my training is longevity in terms of like joint, ligament health. I have injuries galore from the past. I don't want to mitigate those things by just having good overall form in terms of control, so I can let the muscle, like I'm super strict and I'm so focused on just that muscle that I'm targeting, getting all the work done. That's what I want. So, you can push those extra, momentum reps if you need to. For me, if it's not needed or not necessary for me to build the muscle, I'm not gonna do it. And for the most part, it isn't necessary for you to use momentum to get those extra reps. If you can't do, for me, again, when I say 5 minimum reps, that's to the tempo of, all the way up, 1001, 1002, 1 stretch up. If I can't do that rep, if I can't continue that type of rep, I'm done, right? It's as simple as that. So just keep that in mind. Again, guys, we're resting for a strict 2 minutes. So that should give you more than enough time to get yourself back in and training again. And that's where we incorporate the long length partial, right? So again, 5 minimum reps with that same negative, right? 2 second negative, 1 second pause at the bottom, and then 1 second concentric, or like an explosive concentric, as long as it's controlled. All right, so from here, guys, I'm gonna do a high row. We're gonna do only 2 sets for this. Seated, we're gonna just basically continue, right? Because I did 5 reps here. I wanna go over here, stack the weight a little bit more, give myself a little more leverage, and then add 2 more sets. Then we're gonna get into a horizontal row, then a bent over row. So this guy's continuing the 5 minimum reps, so we're doing 5 plus reps. We're gonna do 5 to 20 reps. Oh, as you see, man, this is a continuation from the pulls, so I don't have to really worry about warming up here at all. I'm basically doing the exact same thing I was doing with a pull-up, only a little bit more narrower, and we're basically on the cables. So again, 2 second hard rest. This set brought me to like the higher end of my rep range, so I got some room. in terms of like weight. I can definitely manage more weight. Again, the goal for me is between 5+ reps, 5 to 20 reps from here, which means I can force a load a little bit more because again, I'm doing a, 2 second negative, 1 second pause. I'm doing like a 4 to 5 second rep, right? So I'm doing 5 minimum reps, at least it's gonna be 25 seconds, right at that bottom end range of that sweet spot of hypertrophy being like between like 30 to 45, 50 seconds in terms of hypertrophy. So when I'm doing this, I basically did way more than 5 reps. So at the weight I'm doing, I'm gonna put the weight up a little bit more, and that's probably gonna bring me down, I would say, probably to around like close to 10 reps. But regardless, 10 reps is gonna equal out to be around 40 seconds, right? A 4 second rep, that's what you have to think about. I've done videos constantly on, don't think so much of like the rep only. The rep is part of the equation. The rep is like, all right, here's how many reps you have. Let's put it this way, when I play music, there is basically bars, right? Might be a 4 bar, 8 bar, whatever, right? And each bar, there's a count. There's like a 4 second count. 1, 2, 3, 4, next. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for me, each rep is almost like a bar in my head, right? So when I'm doing a rep, I got 5 to 20 bars to do, and each bar is gonna have a count of 4 seconds per each bar, right? So that's how you have to think about it. Don't just think reps, because when we think just reps, that rep can take 20 seconds tops for the most amount of reps you do, which we wanna make sure we're doing these longer sets to really increase the tension and the hypertrophy. You guys can see when I'm doing these, that the goal is to, right, get protracted and then retract completely. See how my back's flat here, right? We're going from this to this, right, this to this, while getting some good lag activation too. So if we're trying to build like, right, traps, rhomboids, rear delts, like this, right? Those little muscles popping out. We want to do these. Rowing is gonna help with that. All right, last exercise, guys. We got 2 sets, 2 hard sets of bent over dumbbell row. This is, I'll turn on and talk to you guys. What the fuck? Anyway, so, okay, so last exercise, we're gonna do some bent over dumbbell rows. This is gonna be that exercise that's gonna challenge my erectors just by, all right, I'm gonna be in an isometric hold. I'm gonna be in a static hold with my erectors. Wow, I'll have a little bit of movement, a tiny bit of movement when I'm doing the row, but basically I'm getting my back to work in that way. So I've basically covered all, my entire back. I covered the pulling from vertical, the pulling and the rowing. I covered some horizontal rows, getting a lot of stretch on my scaps, and then same thing here with the basically bent over row. And when it comes to, I would say like stimulus to fatigue ratio, when you're looking at these, I would say the stimulus to fatigue ratio is very low. The stimulus is very high with the pulls, ratio very low. You can see I can do so many reps. When it comes to this too as well, chest support, obviously my hands having straps and whatnot, I'm not losing any, endurance in my grip, so I can go with this, you know, again, the load and this exercise, this machine itself, the stimulus to fatigue ratio, this fatigue is fairly high because the load is a little greater. The line of pull and force in here is that much greater as well too. And then this last one here, the fatigue will be definitely higher for this movement just because at the end of exercise, bent over dumbbell rows are gonna have a little bit higher fatigue than most exercises. So let's just do these 2 hard sets. I'm gonna get a good moderate weight, a moderate heavy weight. Again, I don't need a warm up. I would say for those who are, you know, in this, like, again, your first exercise is gonna get you pretty primed. So there's really no reason for you guys to waste a lot of time doing warm-ups. If you're doing a complete different movement, maybe do a set just to get your body in position, go through that full range of motion, that kind of like dress rehearsal, practice the set, and then get into it. But in terms of like activation, muscle engagement, your lats should be prime right now. What are we getting here? We're the 80s or the 100s? Oh, we're gonna go grab the 100s. Yeah, guys, like, this is a great height for me because I want to get, right, again, that full range of motion, right? If I'm this high, look where my arm is, right? I want to be in a position where I'm hinged back, right? You see how flat my back is? And from here, see the range of motion? My arm, the goal is to literally get this arm to be retracted back here and fully like this, right? That's where we want to be. So the higher we are, the less range of motion we have. So if you really want to get that full range, get started at a weight that you can control, that you can be in this position here. Again, we're gonna do a little bit of that Mike Van Wyck style, you know, tilt a little bit to the angle of the actual dumbbell to give you a little more room to pull, so we're not kind of trying to dodge the weight. We can pull that weight almost in a almost pronated, right? To pull us right in to the hip, right to the pocket from there. So I'm gonna do this side first, just because, again, my right side is my quote unquote weaker side. All right, so again, when we're here, pushing back, we wanna be engaged in here. We don't have to be like stiff like this, but we wanna be active from here, right? Think of like, when you're in these kind of exercises, we can do more of like, you know, focus on the stretch at the bottom and the contraction. So my goal for this isn't as long negative. It's a nice stretch, active stretch, and then a nice pull to get the full range. I want that full contraction. I want my scaps to be retracted, right? I want this and this, that's the goal. So I'm gonna be long here, boom, back down, boom. Last exercise we're doing, I like to just find my favorite exercise because I got to help actually like design this gym, actually pick all the equipment. This is my favorite bicep machine on the planet. Love it. So I'm gonna spend the rest of my time here. I'm gonna do 4 hard sets here, and that'll be it, right? Like if anything you can do when it comes to training, the biggest thing when it comes to having a muscle-mind connection is being able to feel the muscle worked. Being able to tap in to your psyche, your mental, and be able to, you know, connect with the muscle and, you know, feel the muscle group you're working, but at the same time, being able to push yourself past that discomfort, right? While maintaining good form. And while you do that, that balance is only going to make that isolated muscle feel it even more in terms of that lactic acid buildup and that pump. And those are 2 really good signs that hypertrophy is happening and taking place, right? So you want to just ride it, right? And again, you've watched my rep. I could have definitely maybe banged out maybe 2 more reps. I would have had a little more body English in there. But then again, like if you saw my failing rep, right? Like, I'm not my failing rep, but my last rep was like, I'm not gonna get any more after this. Like, I have to use more of my body to get that rep up. And for me, I don't want that. I don't need that. Let me just bust a myth right now. I'm gonna bust a myth. Whether you hold your hand this way or this way is not gonna make a difference on how your bicep grows. I'm not gonna tell you the different parts of the bicep. All I'm gonna say is one part of the bicep, all parts of the bicep does this. It will move your elbow, it'll flex your elbow. It just does that, right? The other part of your bicep is gonna help supinate your wrist, right? It's gonna supinate your wrist. Muscles in your back and in your shoulder are gonna help externally rotate your shoulder, right? External rotation comes from your shoulder, supination comes from your bicep. Regardless of where I'm at here or here, the bicep is going to work no matter what. The only difference, the big difference is if I do more of like, I would say this and this, I'm gonna add more forearm. You see how my posture is nice and upright? You see the shoulders aren't doing anything? If I'm like this and the shoulders start moving, I'm up, my chest is nice and tall still. My arms are pressed in the back of this bench, the pads. And I'm getting that nice stretch to the bottom by having the chest nice and tall. Here's where the partials come in. Oh. All right, that is it for today's workout, guys. We did a warm-up of some core. We did 3 sets of pull-ups. We did 2 sets of basically the same hand placement, cable pull downs, supinated. And then we got into doing the chest support matrix horizontal row. And then we did bent over dumbbell row, 2 sets. And then we did 4 hard sets here of biceps, pre-trigger biceps. Again, I'll put some suggestions in there for the exercise that I'm doing myself and some ones that you can do yourself. Again, you only need 3 exercises for your back. You can arguably only do 2 if you wanted to, but either way, 3 exercises for back, 1 exercise for bis, and then basically core to start it off. So there you guys have it. Workout done in less than an hour. You guys can do this as well too. So if you're jammed with time, you're wondering how the heck am I gonna be able to train my back and my bis, this is how you do it. Hey, that is it for today's video, guys. If you like that video, let me know in the comment section below. And check it out, if you guys wanna book a video consult with me, book a new 1-hour video consult with me about training, nutrition, supplementation, or mental health. And at the end of the consult, I deduct $100 off any package that you pick. Anyway, guys, until next time, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.